This is Justin AMZN on Tuesday, June 18th, 2019. This is the daily. We had an incredible candle. We almost made it up to our line at 1925. The high today was 1921.67, just a few dollars away. It's like just really hoping to get there. It just didn't quite get there, but it came really close. Kind of similar to how this one came close, but I mean, we got even closer. Here than we did here. And we'll zoom out a little bit more to look at how this candle is somewhat similar to this candle at pretty much the same location. This candle way back in August the 13th turned into inverted hammer, and we actually sold back down a little bit from there. That was still when we were making new all-time highs, and that was a new all-time high that day. We have a similar candle here today, which remarkably has the open and the close 2 cents away from each other. There is literally a 2-cent body on this candle. It's similar to an inverted hammer, but there's just no body. So I think it's some sort of I want to say like Dragonfly Doji. I don't think that's the right one because it's got the upper wick. But this is pretty strong reversal candle. If we get a close above this candle, it's very strong to continue bullish because there's a whole lot of sellers in here. If we start to break down from here, this is a great reversal candle, and this could be a evening star reversal on the daily. Jumping into the 5-minute, right out the gate, we had a high wave candle here. A little different than how we just ran up yesterday. I mean, we saw it on the 1 minute, I think, yesterday. I'm guessing the 1 minute is going to be similar here. Maybe some smaller candles that could have been traded in here on its way up, because this is a lot of selling in here that then people got trapped as it continued higher. Made a nice little triangle, continued to move up until it made this bearish engulfing. Small candle, broke down, a retest. This is somewhat of a double top with a neckline right here at this resistance that became a neckline support that became resistance on a retest, and that could have been the place to take this bearish way back down here, which also makes this somewhat of a shoulder, a head, and another shoulder, just much smaller shoulder here for a bigger bigger reversal pattern, the head and shoulder on the 5-minute, or maybe on a 3-minute that would look better, because then it had the sell-off here, retest. This is the S-curve going bearish here, and then another retest here to the small candles here. So there's just a lot. I was expecting it to get up to 1925. That's what I thought it was going to get to, and then to see so many of these S-curves on the way down, it just kind of felt like we shouldn't be going down here yet. We should have gone up here. So this probably trapped some bulls that were getting in here, getting a little bit late, looking for that to continue, and then trapped them and stopped them out as it moved lower. And like I said, came back to basically the same open price, just 2 cents away. So we ended up gapping up above the line that I drew in at 1893. We kind of had a nice bounce right off of 1900. The low here was 1899.79. And so let's dive into the 3-minute and see if that would have given better entries. Yeah, smaller candles here. I like that one here. This is a nice retest of this candle. And you could have just taken this bullish above that candle and stopped below it. Just trading that candle aggressively, because this is a breakout of pre-market high, a retest, and then a continuation here. And that would have been a nice quick, 3, 6, 9, 12 maybe minute gain, something like that. So probably about 10 minutes you could have made a nice gain on that. So that's on the 3-minute with the reversal I was talking about. So this is like a shoulder, a head, a shoulder here. It's probably easier if I draw it. So there are some patterns. You just kind of had to look for a little bit. This is somewhat of a double top that doesn't play out. It's a much better consolidation that breaks out, retests, and continues. And then this is a shoulder, this is a head, this is a shoulder, and there's somewhat of a neckline in there that then retests here and rolls back down. That was one way of seeing it. And then also this being a double top, breakdown, retest of that neckline. That's a bad drawing. Retest the neckline at this price, basically, at the 1918 price, and then that rollover, puke down lower from there. So nice high wave candle here on a 3 minute. Looks like the 3 minute gave a lot of opportunities today. So I'm gonna have to continue looking at that one. Back to the 5. So let's look at this inverted hammer. This is right at 10:30, which is a good reversal point of the day. This breakout was failing. It was clearly failing here where it recovered and then didn't go any further with a close above. And it really should, if this triangle is going to retest this far and then bounce, it's really got to do that quickly. There's a lot of bearishness coming in here. So this is just showing it was way overbought up here. And so if we go jump into the 1925 calls, you can see that it didn't really have a huge move. It had a huge move on the 5 minute on the stock, but not as much on the option, at least not on the 5 minute. If I look at the 3 minute here, that's a nice hammer type candle. You could have been getting into this 9x8. That would have been fine. 9x8 or even 10x9 on that breakout. That would have been nice because then that ran up to 13 easily. So that would have been 3R doing 10x9. And then as it consolidated here and then broke out, you could have been taking the breakout, but that didn't even make 2R. So it really just needed to continue to move higher. We came right into the resistance here, and that's where we were starting to sell off, and didn't really get any other great buying opportunities. I mean, it came down to the same low as the open. So, I mean, you could have been buying the low from the open over here, doing 8x7 or not, from here as it's breaking out, maybe 9x8 or 9x750, but then didn't go anywhere. It barely even scratched out an R. So that was tough about today. And then for the puts, we consolidated with some smaller candles through here, put in the hammer on the 5. This would have been a nice setup doing something like a 9x8 after this candle, or more likely 850x750, but I don't know if that would have filled here. You can see the 1030 rollover, this inverted hammer, continuing with these candles lower very quickly. Oops, there we go. Very quickly, you could have been getting in like not at 9 and getting out at 11 or 12. I mean, a very quick 2R. If you set up your target for 2R, get out at 11, you probably thought it was going to take a little longer, and instead it hit it right here, and you probably got some positive slippage. It did roll back down and retest, and so this was the other opportunity to get in with puts right at 10. So 10x9, right up here. As, let's see, this was rolling down. So this was 10x9. This is I'm going to say we're in the 1900 puts. So this was a nice consolidation, getting in either here 10x9 or here 11x10, and that continued up to 13 or 14 pretty easily. And then another opportunity on the S curve to get in on a pullback here, which was a retest of sort of this breakout here. So that was pullback at 135. So 135, yeah, was right in here as it's making this sort of stair step that is probably more of a you can see a reversal that breaks down. That would have been a tough one because this is a dot. Sorry, let me draw it. I'm like thinking through this as I'm seeing this evaluating. This is a really nice double bottom right off of earlier support. It does have this little bearish pullback here, which is a retest of a neckline, and then starts to go. this was trapping a lot of the bulls. Definitely, because bulls are thinking, okay, it's going to go, or at least I'll do something like this, and I'll be back up here, back up, where I was getting up to earlier in the day. And instead, it makes a double top, retests, and then rolls over rather quickly. And if you had to stop here or here, you were stopped out before you probably moved it. And then if you had to stop way down here, that got hit at the end of the day, or possibly here, depending on where you had that. And so just giving it some room likely got you stopped out as well. This is a really strong hammer type candle. The body and the wick are about the same size, and we had a nice bounce from there, but it was more of a choppy bounce going back up. Another thing I was seeing here is a little bit of a wedge, where this is getting tighter as it continues up. There's just not as many buyers, and so I think this being more of a wedge makes it recognizable to say, okay, we're going to roll down more. There's, I don't know the percentage, I can make one up, but there's a significant percentage of wedges that break down like this, and this is just one of them. So you had a wedge there, you had a triangle here, you had a triangle here, went through double tops, neckline, retest and roll over, bigger neckline, retest and roll over. This thing is full of patterns today. It's just crazy. It's great to recognize the patterns, and to be able to do that in a live trading environment is a challenge to do it. So definitely practice candles like that. But I hope this helps to recognize some opportunities. At this point, we could go in either direction. It looks like we're running into some resistance here. This level has been resistance, I think it was August 13th. Yeah, go back to August 13th. This was somewhat of like a neckline here. We ran into this level. This is the last line we had gotten into here. We couldn't even get up to our next line at 1972.50. So we'll just have to see. This was a really nice bullish breakout of this consolidation. We got 5 bullish candles in a row. I'm okay with a bearish candle coming in, even if it's an inside bearish candle tomorrow, something smaller. But I don't know if that's going to happen. This is really moving up. And if we're considering it like a triangle here and this one here, if we're saying those are similar, even just getting 2 days of sideways activity, so 1, 2, and then pop, that'd be great, because then it's showing that we're going to build up some momentum. So just like these 2 bearish candles here just went sideways and then popped, and then these went sideways for like 5-6 days and then popped, and so if we can get a few days, and I'll start with 1 day of a bearish candle or inside or a pullback. I mean, we haven't even touched the 5 here. Our way up here, we didn't touch the 5. We consolidated into it, basically holding the close on it every day except this one. Well, we didn't even touch it here. And so this seems much more bullish than this and this move, just because of how well we've stayed above the 5. So it doesn't mean we're always going to stay above the 5, but it's got a very nice bullish trend right now. And so, I wouldn't necessarily go against that unless something's really clear with, a shorter term move intraday. But on a swing perspective, it just looks like we're going to wait for the pullback and then bounce, and just not knowing where that pullback's going to be. We're waiting for the candles to give us more signals. So hope that all makes sense. Just what I'm seeing with the candles today. Hope you're seeing that too, and you're learning on some of these candles, learning some ways to set up trades on this. I'm really going to wait on doing some sort of a setup and thinking through that for tomorrow. I know that there may be some Fed announcement that may move the market in general that AMZN may kind of go along with too. So kind of wait and see how things play out tomorrow, and then maybe look at another setup for Thursday or Friday later in the week. So hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.